What happens if the Republicans never pick a speaker? I mean, you know, it's an interesting question. David Neer, who's a staff writer for DailyKos.com, put a piece up yesterday. It's titled, "What Happens If Republicans Never Pick a Speaker?" It would be good news, actually, he writes. And he says, this would actually be a good thing for the country. And he says, you'll recall that just before Christmas, Congress passed its annual spending bill, which will keep the government funded all the way to October 1st. And, you know, the only thing he says that we have to really concern ourselves with is the debt ceiling, which we will hit sometime this summer. And he suggests that, you know, the president could get around the debt ceiling by using the modern monetary theory strategy of issuing a platinum coin worth $1 trillion or worth $10 trillion or whatever. I think that the way to get around the debt ceiling for the Biden administration, a much more straightforward way, would be to invoke, I believe it's the 14th Amendment. In fact, I believe it's the 5th article of the 14th Amendment, but I'd have to go back and look. I should have looked it up before I started the segment, which says that the full faith and credit of the United States shall not be challenged. I'm paraphrasing from memory, and that isn't the exact wording, but it's damn close. And challenging that is the debt ceiling. The debt ceiling was legislation that was passed back in the 1950s, and it was not passed to give Republicans a club to beat Democrats over the head with. This came out of World War II. We had borrowed an enormous amount of money for World War II. In fact, in the 2 or 3 years immediately following World War II, our national debt as a percentage of our GDP was larger than it is today, or in the neighborhood of where it is today. It was 122%, as I recall, of GDP. So it was larger than it is today. We're just a little over 100% of GDP now. And so that, you know, the debt ceiling was put into place by way of saying, okay, Congress, if you're going to do this again, you've got to have a good reason. And yeah, okay. But the debt ceiling requirement, I believe, is in complete violation of that constitutional amendment that says that you cannot challenge the full faith and credit of the United States. Because if you hit the debt ceiling and you shut down the government and you fail to make payments on treasuries, that is the exact thing that is happening there. So anyhow, David Neer is saying, don't worry, at least until October. And I'm agreeing. What say you? I'll pick up your calls on the other side of the break. It's 27 minutes past the hour.